Hello, happy Monday. For those of you that are new here, my name is Kristen Lankford. I am a pre-K teacher in Florida, and I am going to talk to you all about our week. It is the first week of March. Technically today is February though, the last day. And so we are going to do a theme of rainbows. So this morning has already been a little busy. I came in pretty much on time. Lately I've been walking in as like, you know, I'm supposed to be here, but I got here a little bit earlier today, thank goodness. Mondays are always a good refresher. That provided me with some time to be able to like go through my small groups and make sure I had everything ready and things like that. And to be honest, not everything was ready, so I had to laminate a couple things that I printed over the weekend for small groups. And then I had to like sort them out and figure out what Miss Sam was doing with what activities I already had and what I had printed and what I'm doing in my small group. My book was prepared, but we make our hats, and so I have to staple those real quick so we can do that after story time today. And then I had to set up my All About letter board. It was still from last week's letter, and I think that's pretty much all I had to do. We did prepare our Play-Doh, sensory, and our art project on Friday, and so that felt good to be done with. And during morning meeting, we took the time to actually introduce those activities. We've noticed that we've been introducing them right before play centers, and it kind of takes away from that time. So we felt like during morning circle, we introduced the theme, introduced the letter anyways. We might as well talk about those 3 activities, get them excited about it, and that's what we did. So I'm going to use the rest of this time to make these hats, and then the kids are gonna come in and do snacks. So if I have time before they come in, I'll share with you some of those things that we made. Luckily, I have a little bit of time left before the kids come in. Definitely need to keep cleaning this table. I swear it just gets dirty every single day. Anyways, this is the rainbow we're making. Very ambitious of us, but I feel like we've done a lot of gluing activities with pieces of paper, so fingers crossed. They have a simple rainbow, no lines. I showed them this morning, like I said, how to do it, so we're hoping that it's sorted enough for them, and we'll add paper as they need it. The sensory bin is amazing this week. I'm super excited for it. We put our blue rice that we still have left over, and then I had these from last year. I bought them forever ago. They are, ooh, I don't know if you guys can see that. They're macaroni noodles that like mac and cheese, but they're stars and rainbows and unicorns. And we just used color dye to dye them. It's not vinegar with food coloring. It's a different type of dye. I'll have to show you guys. But we made all the colors of the rainbow with the different macaroni. I used 2 boxes. And then we added pom-poms as well. And we had these cups that we actually put in our kitchen just recently, so we took them back out, and I told the kids they had a job so that the rice would hopefully not be everywhere, and their job is to use these to try to pick up, it's kind of hard to do this with one hand, pick up one of the macaronis or the pom-poms and sort it into the correct color. Colors of the rainbow. Super fun. We'll see how it goes. Last week I had to take sensory away because it was just too much. And then our Play-Doh is also very fun. I modeled for them how to use white for clouds, and they could build a rainbow out of these pipe cleaners, as well as put some beads on top of it. Showed them how they could do a stand-up rainbow with these little shape makers. And then we have colors of the rainbow beads, and then these dice. So we also have our clear beads over here for clouds if they got the blue like the sky. This is gonna be super creative, I already know. And then finally, our poem is Rainbow Hair. We did this one last year too, so we're just gonna cut out, they're gonna draw like a picture of themselves, like a circle and then their eyes and nose and all that. And then we're gonna cut out strips of color and they'll make it into their hair. We actually have a new student who knows how to read. So our new thing is to let her come up and read. And not only can she read, but she read it with voice and rhyming. So she actually read rainbow purple, rainbow blue, rainbow green, and yellow too. Just like that. It wasn't like word by word. It was like very flowing with fluency. It was amazing. So the kids were very pumped for that. And in addition to that new student, we have another new student, not new to our school, but he was in the classroom next door and then took like a little bit of a break because he was doing some ABA therapy, things like that, and now he's coming back and he's gonna be in our classroom for only 2 days at this point. So he'll be here on Tuesdays and Thursdays, so tomorrow is his first day, so we gotta get all that stuff ready for him. And then also, it's March 1st tomorrow, which means that our window opens for the BDI, which, you know, this is only my second year, I think. Yeah, second year in pre-K, that's crazy. And so I just learned how to do the BDI last year, and we only do it at the end of the year, so I'm gonna have to refresh myself on that. But in addition to that, now we have a new assessment that we use for kids that are entering our program, and it's called the COS. And to be honest, we did some learning about that in the beginning of the year, but it was like, whew, right over my head, because you know how the beginning of the year is. You're not even thinking about that because you're like, oh, that's not till March, you know? So I have to revisit that as well. I don't think any of these kids will need the COS as they're exiting because most of these kids used the BDI to enter and didn't have the COS yet. So kind of next year is when I'm probably gonna have to really be understanding of that COS process. And that's pretty much it. So lots of testing heading this way, lots of preparation for these kids exiting, and obviously still teaching throughout it. So I will see you guys maybe after school, maybe not, maybe tomorrow. Hello, it is Wednesday. I unfortunately was not able to record yesterday because it was insane and nothing to do with my class. My daughter Kenzie, she's the middle one in 2nd grade, she hurt herself on Monday night on her foot from jumping, and we were kind of unsure how hurt. But nonetheless, on Tuesday, we took her to the doctor and it is fractured, so now she's in a cast. And so after school was like nothing to record, obviously. But anyways, it is Wednesday now, which means it's cooking day. The kids just went outside. I grabbed my camera right away because I have to set up everything for cooking, and then I can show you afterwards. Let's set this up. Okay, we have all of our ingredients. This one's gonna be a little tricky. The way that the classroom is set up now, we always sit on the rug and like mix the things and make an example, but I don't have a plug. So anytime I have to do something, like last week was grilled cheese and I had to plug in the griddle, there's like a plug over here, and then I had to kind of like put in this corner, and then they had to sit in different spots. So I'm kind of unsure how we're gonna do it this time, but we're definitely gonna have them on the rug to mix the ingredients. For pancakes, it's just water, but to make it into waffles, they need more of the mix, and then egg and oil. And this is our speech pathologist waffle maker that they have from home. And what's cool is that she let us borrow it last year too. But look how cute. It's gonna make little Mickeys. Definitely need to clean this out. But I don't even know if I've told you guys the reason we do the cooking activity, well, besides the fact that it's fun, but it's also incorporating language. And so the speech pathologist kind of tag teams it with us as a whole group activity for language. Those kids that are already in the speech and language program get a little extra time, but she also helps some of the other kids that are in here, even if they're not on her caseload. Okay, so that's all set up. I'm going to grab the plates, get that kind of situated, read the directions, see how long it takes to cook them, And while I'm probably over here slaving away making waffles, they'll be doing their first page of their book, which is just the ingredients list, tracing the letters, coloring the pictures, and then we'll eat, and then we'll talk about how it was afterwards. Also, today is Dr. Seuss's birthday, and we're not really doing any kind of big activities for that. Like, our theme this week is rainbows, not Dr. Seuss. Our kindergarten classrooms do a huge unit on it, so we kind of let them have that time there instead of taking over that time as well here. So we did watch a little video about Dr. Seuss, and then during social centers, I'm gonna open up the library as a choice and put out all my Dr. Seuss books for the kids to look at. So that's about the extent of that, and that is fine. Anyways, I'm gonna clean this out, get some paperwork done. Like I said, a lot of these kids are exiting. I have a lot of meetings going on, a lot of documentation that I have to do. The BDI is open now, so I went ahead and went on the webpage to make sure I have all the kids that need to take it on there. I'm waiting for the testing booklets, so a lot going on, but nonetheless, we're gonna get through it. I will hopefully see you guys after school to talk about what we're doing in small group or the books that we're reading, and if not, maybe tomorrow. No, it is Thursday. I have time to jump on here real quick before I go home. I just wanted to have some time to go over our books that we read as well as our small group activities. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started on that. First thing is that our theme is rainbows, as you can see. So we did one book rainbow theme so far. The second book was supposed to be today, but we did not get to it because we had library and we had to go to like the book fair to check out what books we wanted. But then we also have our letter W as our letter of the week. So on Monday, we started with our scholastic book for letter W about Worm's Wagon, and it was a great review for heavy and light because he adds a bunch of friends on here and it makes the wagon very heavy. And then we went right into making our letter crown that we do every Monday. And then after that, on Tuesday, we did read Planting a Rainbow, which got them pretty excited because after spring break, we will be doing our garden that's outside and planting some plants and all that. So it was just a review of the rainbow colors, and it's pretty engaging because the pages are different sizes, and we just learned some of the different types of flowers. And then today's book was supposed to be How the Crayon Saved the Rainbow, but we did not get to it. This book is super cute, so we're gonna try and squeeze it in sometime tomorrow as like a read aloud maybe. But if you haven't read this one, it's a really cute one. It's a little long, but I think they can handle it. And then our letter craft that we did on Tuesday is W is for watermelon. It seems simple, but honestly, they kind of struggled with this one. They were, first of all, gluing it upside down like an M, and then putting these green pieces on. They were kind of spread out or not really on the letter. And then finally they added the seeds, but we got through it. Okay, so that was pretty much like our reading literacy block. That was whole group. Then we have our small group activities. I have them all in a pile and there's rainbow everything. So let me sort through them. In my small group, for the majority of my groups, like I said, sometimes when some of those other groups come, we switch it up a little bit. We did these rainbow cards, and it is from Keeping My Kiddo Busy. One of the like blogs that are out there that you join the email list and they send you the freebie. But it has a rainbow, and it has, there we go, the 10 rod, which seems like a little crazy for pre-K, and then the cube. So what we did is we kind of focused on starting at 10 and counting up, and then recognizing what that number was and finding the pot of gold that could match it, and then putting them together. So some of the kids were able, like my higher group, they did really well with this, and it was actually a very good challenge for them. My like average group, they needed a little more instruction and reminders to start at 10, but it was still good for them because they know how to count to 20. But my lower groups, this was a little bit tricky for them, so we just got some pipe cleaners and some beads, and I showed them a number on the whiteboard, and they put that many beads onto the pipe cleaner, and we started with numbers 1 to 10. So that was my math small group. For my literacy small group, we did rhyming words review, and we did this with all the groups because the higher groups, they're able to rhyme, but when there's a lot of choices, it's harder for them to find those matches. And then some of them, I asked them to come up with a additional rhyming word to go with their pair. And then my lower ones, they are the ones that really need the practice with the rhyming, so we're just keep revisiting it. So it's the same concept where they're building a rainbow. These ones don't really match, but we have train, and then the match is actually rain, but this one's mat, and then they just build their little rainbow together. So that was my literacy group. Then for our other groups, you know, we have one group that's computer, and then we have two other groups that Miss Sam's kind of like hopping between. She's like working with one, but kind of visiting the other one too. And so for math, one of the easy ones was building a rainbow again, which by the way, these are pretty much all from keeping your kiddo busy. So I think it was like a whole package. And this one was just, I had pots of gold, and they had to count the golds that were inside the black, like not, I guess not inside, on top of the black, not on the top. And then they had to match it with the correct number. This one doesn't match either, to make the rainbow. The group that needed more of Miss Sam's support was the missing number. And it just had big numbers for some of the groups, 17, blank, 19, and then smaller numbers for blank 6, and she had a bunch of numbers to fill in the blank and see what came in the middle of those two numbers. Then for the more independent literacy group that Miss Sam still kept an eye on because it was a little risky, we did trays of colored sand, and we put the letter underneath it, and then they had to use their finger to trace it. Most of the groups were successful with this. There was a couple that were just playing, and we just had to redirect those behaviors. One of the like lower groups, we were not gonna give them a freehand tracing, so we put sand in a Ziploc bag, zipped it up, and then put it underneath, and that was a lot better. Then her other group for literacy that she kind of worked with more direct was compound words, and it's the same. We had a rainbow that was already put together, and then it was rainbow, and then they had to find the other rainbow that had a picture of it together, and they just paired them up. And so then she was able to say rainbow without rain is bow. And that was that. So we're at lots of review right now. These skills they're very kindergarten, but they're doing great with it. So I'm pushing ahead a little bit, but I also don't want to push too far ahead because I want to make sure they really understand these concepts, and it's not just like they kind of got it right. And like I said, it's about to be testing season, so we got lots of me leaving the classroom to test these kids, and I don't want Miss Sam stressing out trying to teach them things when they should just be like reviewing things during that small group. Okay, so that is that. We had a new student start today, and it went well. He'll be here on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and then only half day as well. And then I think we're maxed out. I think everybody that's gonna be in our room is in our room. All of our spots are full, and it's just time to keep chugging along. We have one more week, and then we have spring break. Next week we are going to be doing St. Patrick's Day theme, and we're gonna take a break from our letter of the week so that we can do just St. Patrick's Day fun stuff. And that also extends our letter of the week a little bit further throughout the end of the year. The last 3 weeks of school will be enough time for us to do review of the letters, and then summer. It's crazy, it's so close. But I'm gonna head home, and I will record tomorrow if there's any last minute things that I can think of that I didn't show you. I think I might have gotten everything though. But nonetheless, I will hop on here tomorrow and wrap up this video.